Welcome everyone. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted, proud and overjoyed to welcome our new bride and groom. Will you please be upstanding for the wonderful, for the delightful, the beautiful, it's Mr and Mrs Maddox! So we're going to hand over to the father of the bride, Mr Paul Allen.
Thank you very much. Give me a microphone, I'm happy. First and foremost, it gives me great pleasure on behalf of Ben's mum and dad, Andrew and Gary, Sheila and myself, to welcome you all here to celebrate the marriage of Lucie and Ben. I'm sure you'll all agree how beautiful my daughter looks today, and Ben doesn't scrub up too bad either. I got to the church door today, looked at Lucie and said, "Luce, now you're getting married, is there any chance you could clear all your stuff out of our loft?" This little girl was born just in time for Sheila to have her Sunday dinner on May the 1st, 1983. She was christened Lucinda after Sheila's grandma, who sadly passed away a few months before she was born. Baby Lucinda, meaning light, brought brightness to all, including great-granddad Bert. I can honestly say that since that day, she has only given us pleasure as she has continued to shine. On Lucie's first day at school, a tearful Sheila nervously took her little girl to the door. Idris is helping out as well, Alec. Lucie skipped straight in without a second glance or sign of fear. I firmly believe that sums up Lucie's positive character and outlook on life. Older brother Tom looks back fondly on Lucinda's arrival. His first memories of the Fisher-Price aeroplane she lovingly chose for him on the day she was born. He recalls whizzing it round the hospital floor whilst being introduced to his new sister. Little sister Sophie remembers admiring her big sister and enjoying sharing a bedroom with her, until the day Sophie went out and Lucie decided it was time she had her own space and kindly moved Sophie's furniture into the loft. On a positive, independent middle child is known by us all as the happy shopper. She has a talent for seeking out a bargain and often assists the whole family with her retail therapy skills. Lucie's determination has always shone through. Throughout her school years, she would revise for hours, days, weeks on end. Her hard work was rewarded with outstanding results, which masked the difficulties that remained hidden. It wasn't until her university years that Lucie realised she was dyslexic. This hard-working, determined young girl had smiled her way through school and never complained. Her positive outlook, desire to achieve, and hours of hard work paid off. She continued to succeed, completing her degree and vowing to make a difference. Since then, Lucie has taken this attitude into her work life. She has been successful in every interview she's ever attended, applying her passion to each job, from her Saturdays on the in-shops newsagents to her current role supporting children and families, continuing to make the difference she promised. More recently, Lucie has become famous for her one-liners. When asked by Sheila or Sophie if their outfits or hair look okay, Lucie always replies, "You look good from the back." I'm sure you'll all agree that today she looks good from the back and the front. Queen of the naps, Lucie often quotes her favourite motorway sign when excusing her need to rest: "Tiredness can kill." Lucie is known for looking on the bright side of life and being lucky. With her beaming smile and can-do attitude, we often refer to her as Little Maisie. We all know Lucie's opinion on animals. She once stated, "I'd only have a dog if it was the law." Even then, it would be one that fitted in my handbag. She did try owning a fish once, but the less said about Ben dropping the tank, the better. Lucie is known for being accident prone. Her profile includes a stapled finger, a thumb broken by a can of Coke, and falling down the stairs in her new slippers one Christmas morning. Lucie always says it's good to talk. Don't ever call her if you're short on time. I wonder who she takes after. Anyway, that's enough about the bride. Today, I officially give my daughter away, and I couldn't be giving her to a better man. Welcome to the Mallon family, Ben. As a dedicated sportsperson, I trust you will apply the same attitude to your married life. I'm fully aware you work hard, so in my book, you can play hard too. We were first introduced to Ben as a friend of Si and Will. He was a latecomer to one of our garden parties. It was a fish and chip supper. Not that Ben would know. We had none left by the time he arrived. Sheila has never forgiven herself for not feeding him that night, but has made up for it over the years. We soon got to see more of Ben after that party. One night in particular springs to mind. Our bedroom door opened to find you looking for the toilet. Following a panic call from Sheila, Ben, you're in the wrong room. You turned and walked away. I love a good biscuit, but that incident put me off ginger nuts for life. Ben, we all know how long it took you to ask for my daughter's hand in marriage. For a young man so confident in all you do, I have never seen you look so nervous as when you asked me the question. But look at the result. In true Maddox style, you didn't mess about. Just 5 months later, Team Mallon Maddox have produced all of this. A great day so far and a wonderful evening to follow. Not to mention Lucie's new sideline as a wedding planner. Now please, don't leave it too long until you fill that beautiful house full of children. Ben, just remember, you've not only gained a wife today, you've also gained the in-laws. Now, in the words of Rick Astley, promise us you're never going to give her up, let her down, run around, or desert her. I all hope you've noticed the wooden step ladders on display tonight. If not, please take a look at them later. They're just down there in the reception area where you've collected your drinks. Please have a look at them if you haven't already done so. The wedding photos on there represent family life throughout the years. Lucie's grandparents, Ben's grandparents, Andrea and Gary, Sheila and myself, and representing the younger generation, Bethan and Tom. A few weeks ago, Lucie phoned me and asked if I had any wooden step ladders. I advised her that Grandad Ralph had a pair in his garage. On her next visit to see Grandad, she asked if she could use them for a wedding display. Well, you can borrow them, came the reply. You can borrow them. That phrase sums up, to me, hard work, repairing when broken, and looking after things you care about and belong to you. In Grandad's case, he wants the steps back, because even at 89 years young, his head thinks he may need to use those steps, but his legs may tell him something different. Lucie said they are our love ladders. When she had the idea for the display, did she realise the photographs would represent a collective 322 years of married life? Yes, 322 years. Lucie and Ben, follow that, there's no pressure. I'm confident, Ben, you'll rise to the challenge. Sorry, only joking, Shil. I look around here today and I see that married life will come naturally to you both because you have got a fantastic group of friends, work colleagues and obviously family when you need us. With a mountain theme here today, Lucie and Ben will take their first steps onto the ladder. There will be days when they need to repair the steps, wipe off a drop of paint, but if they work hard together, they will climb the steps and the mountain together. When you get to the top of the mountain, with help from family of your own, think of those old wooden steps, and hopefully you will follow on with all the strong marriage spirit that your families in the past have created for you. Ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses to my daughter and her husband, Lucie and Ben. Just before I hand you back to Tom, I can't leave the field of dreams without saying, today, Lucie and Ben open the batting on their married life together. Along the way, there will be plenty of spin, the odd bouncer, even a googly. I hope your marriage is long on, and it is my wish that your innings last forever. Amen.
Thanks, Dad. What were we on, Barbara? Was that over?
10:36.
So is that, what was the deal? Jaegers all round?
Jaegers all round, anything over 10.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. Reminded me of that. Okay, so just before we hand over to our two main men, then following on from what my dad's just been talking about, I would like to propose a toast to absent friends. Beth and I were delighted when Luce told us about the Love Ladder and asked us to be part of it. And for those of you that have seen it, I'm sure that you'll agree that it looks great. And as my dad mentioned, there's 322 years of married life, but of course there's some people on there that are sadly no longer with us, people who are very much in our thoughts. So with all of those people in our thoughts, we'd like to propose a toast in a moment, and that is for us to think about Lucie's 9, and obviously my 9, Doris, Ben's grandfather on his mum's side, Graham, his grandfather from his dad Gary's side, Stanley, and of course Lucie's grandparents on my dad's side, Jack and Maisie Mallon. So could you please raise your glasses to absent friends? Thank you. And now, I'd like to hand you over to the main man of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Tamworth Cricket Club's first team captain, the man, the legend, the original mad dog, it's Mr Benjamin Maddox.
Right, good afternoon then everyone. Probably about to witness a fairly unique event. Probably the very first and very last time that my wife is going to let me speak on behalf of both of us. And it's a privilege and an honour to do so. So hopefully I don't let her down too early in our married lives. So as I'm sure you're all aware, it's tradition that the groom has responsibility for expressing his thanks to everyone involved in a wedding. So on behalf of my wife and I, a big thank you to all for being here today. We appreciate that many people have taken time out of their busy Christmas schedules to be here. People have taken time off work to celebrate with us, and we're really, really grateful for that, so thank you. We've also managed to attract guests from every country in the UK, from Glasgow to North Wales, Northern Ireland, and many, many other places around the country. So those who've travelled from near or far, thank you for celebrating our day with us. Now, tradition also dictates that I'm going to thank the people who have helped make today happen. However, that's going to be a pretty impossible task, because I'm sure you're aware, everything that you've seen around you, the decorations, the flowers, the logs in the middle of your tables, which would probably chop down illegally from somewhere, I would have guessed, to the performances that you saw, to the drinks that have been served, all this has been done from the goodness of people's hearts. So if I tried to thank people individually, I'd end up missing some out. So thank you for all of those people who have contributed to that. I'd like to apologise as well to anyone who's had to sit in the company of Lucie and I over the past sort of 5 months and smile politely and nodded as we talked about nothing but ourselves. So thank you for all those people who put up with us over the last sort of 5 months. So I spoke to my dad recently, and he told me that this is one of the only times in a married man's life that you'll be able to sit in the company of his wife and mother-in-law and not get interrupted. So he said, make sure you get your money's worth. So thanks for that, Dad. Now there's some special people we'd like to pay a particular thanks to. And firstly, that's our bridesmaids. So Bethany, Ellie and Kitty, you all look amazing in your dresses, and certainly made everyone smile in the church and even made some people cry. So thank you for that. And to Sophie, Kelly and Beth, firstly I'm sure that you'll all agree that they look stunning. And when we first bought these dresses we were concerned that maybe Primark wasn't the best option, but you know, it's ended up a good choice in the end. But on a serious note, I know that Lucie was amazed with the hen parties that you organised for her, and I know that many of the ladies that are in here today had a time that they'd never forget, and you gave Lucie's memories that she'll always remember, so thank you for that. She cares for you all dearly and will always be grateful for everything that you have done for her, so thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, can I propose my first toast to the bridesmaids. On a similar note, I'd like to thank our ushers, Tom and Dave, and also their sidekicks, Stu and Rich, for everything that they've done today. That's meant that Lucie and I can just enjoy ourselves and take it all in, so we really, really appreciate that. So, my new mother and father-in-law. Paul, firstly, thank you for your kind and thoughtful words in your speech, and to both of you, thank you for welcoming me into the Mallon family. Now, being a part of this family is fairly unique, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware. And as a father had probably done to his own son, Paul's tried to teach me a few lessons in the time that I've known him, because he's got numerous phrases that he draws upon during various situations in life, and I'd like you to maybe take a moment to think if you can help me work these out. If some kids, you could just cover your ears for a moment. But firstly, Paul taught me that apparently you slide further on shit than gravel. Okay, if anybody knows what that one means, I've no idea. I'm sure there's a lot of people who've heard him say you can't have a deal unless you've got cash in your pocket. And I know there's a lot of people in here who've done some wheeling and dealing with Paul over the years. And he also taught me, and many other gents in here, that apparently you'll never see a farmer on a bike. And again, what that means, I've no idea. But joking apart, they taught me one proper lesson, and they taught me to surround myself with proper people. And what I took that to mean was that I needed to make sure that all of the people in our lives would do anything they could for us, and we would do the same for them. And Paul and Sheila, you've done that in abundance, and you've shown Lucie another way, so thank you. You've treated me like one of your own sons, and welcomed me into your family with open arms, and I promise you both I'll look after your daughter and do everything I can to make her happy. Now on to my mum and dad. This was pretty difficult for me to write, because whatever I ended up saying I probably wouldn't be able to express the way I really felt. Mum, I've seen the way that you've cared and loved for Kelly and I, the way that you've done, especially in recent years, and still do to this day, help and support and care for your own family when they really need you, and that's been an inspiration. And Dad, you've been my voice of reason over the years. Common sense in everything that I've done, and most importantly, even at 31 years old, still the best taxi service I've ever known. So yeah, thank you for that. I hope I've made you both proud in everything that I've done, and continue to do so as Lucie and I begin our married lives together. However, you made me realise a few little lessons as well, and the main one was that you made me realise that apparently true love has no boundaries, and that was never really as clearly evident as when I was really young. I remember I was ill during the evening, during the night, and I came downstairs, and my mum got out of bed and took me downstairs, and Mum was just in a dressing gown and got some Calpol, and as she's doing that, she has a bit of a wobble, and she happens to faint smack bang in the middle of the kitchen. To which, being sort of 5 or 6 years old, I have a mad panic and start screaming up the stairs, "Dad, Dad, Mum's fainted." I then suddenly hear, and I can see a family theme maybe developing here, Dad, that these footsteps down the stairs were like Usain Bolt, and he flew down these stairs, bang, 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 and he come darting into the kitchen. But he was absolutely starkers. So at 6 years old, my mum's just fainted, my dad's sort of kneeling over her like a dog that's not been neutered. And I'm sort of stood there thinking, crikey, if she still loves him after all these years, then there's hope for us all. And then there was one other time I just want to remember to you that we went on a big family outing on a canal boat with my mum's side of the family. And there was aunties, uncles, grandparents, cousins all on this barge, a lovely day. And near the end of the day, some of our cousins and I were walking down the footpath, and it got time to get back on the barge, a few miles from the marina. And my mum thoughtfully leaning over and getting us all in one by one. And there's about a couple of us left. I think it might have been me and maybe Wayne or Paul. And as she's pulling the last couple on, her foot slips and she goes flying into the canal. Now, luckily it was only sort of waist high. And obviously everybody's in tears then. Mum being mum, had an absolute furious mad 10-minute strop, swam out of the canal, got on the footpath and proceeded to walk all the way home in a Mardy for the next sort of hour. And obviously the family are wetting themselves. I remember saying to me, Dad, I think you've really upset Mum. And he replied to me, son, it's important to be able to laugh at each other in a marriage. Good piece of advice. He then followed it up with, it's also important that children know that they don't have to tell the mum everything the dad says about them behind their back. So I'll bear that in mind, Dad, so thank you. So Paul and Sheila, Mum and Dad, thank you for helping us both grow to the people we are today. If Lucie and I are ever fortunate enough to become half the parents that you've been to us, then we'll be along the right tracks. So ladies and gentlemen, to all of the parents in the room, but most importantly to our parents, raise your glasses please to parents. Okay, so on to the serious bit. About 10 years ago, I met the love of my life, and at the time I maybe didn't realise the impact they'd have and how they'd come to shape my future. However, I very quickly came to realise that someone would make me happy for years to come. Someone who I'd come to share amazing times with, someone that I'd laugh with, cry with, dance and sing with, and most importantly, love. And I'm so lucky he agreed to be my best man. Now, being mates with Richie, as I'm sure a lot of you can relate to, it's a little bit like having a 2-year-old child. In that it's ridiculously hard work and absolutely relentless. And I'm sure all the men in here will agree that sign of a good mate is that they've never said anything positive or nice to you at all. And every little slip up you make, they'll absolutely hammer you on it until somebody else in your circle of friends does something equally or more daft. So you never really get very far with a conversation with Rich. A few weeks ago, I texted him to say we need to go and sort our suits out. And I got a text back saying, well, the football's on, should we go and watch that instead? So I said, mate, we really need to get this sorted, otherwise we'll run out of time. And he replied a couple of times, oh, do we really have to? Do you want to just go for a pint? So I was getting quite irritated at this point, as I said about the 2-year-old child. So I'm starting to lose my head a little bit. So I ended up sending this really sarcastic text after he'd said to me, do we have to go this Saturday? Stupidly I replied, do bears shit in the woods? To which obviously I got the reply, polar bears don't. And that about that sums up our relationship. And Rich, I wouldn't have it any other way, mate. Thank you for the most amazing weekend in Dublin. Thanks for agreeing to be my best man, but most importantly, thank you for being my best mate. So ladies and gentlemen, for everybody in here sitting amongst friends and families, could you raise your glasses please to best friends? Nearly there. So as they do say, save the best until last. My amazing wife, Mrs Lucie Maddox. I originally began working on a holiday scheme with Lucie's sister Sophie after being friends with cousin Si and Will for a number of years. And during that summer, I got invited to Sophie's birthday party, as I know Paul's already said, at Paul and Sheila's house. Now, Sophie was back from university, all her friends were there, so future doctors, solicitors, lawyers. So obviously I popped on my best Ben Sherman shirt and thought, right, we'll have a good go tonight. And I probably went round and puffed my chest out and thought, right, I'll get a nice well-to-do young lady tonight. And obviously Luce put pay to that when I walked round, and she'd had about 14 glasses of rosé and proceeded to talk my ear off all evening. And it pretty much went from there. I remember our first date. Ironically, in our now local pub, the Shoal Tavern. I picked Lucie up in my mum's blue Ford KA, bought us both a drink, and we sat down on a little round table, and we began to chat. And I thought, this is going ever so well, and I thought it must be going well, because at that point the pint glasses were being moved over there and the beer mats were there, and as I was going through the different fielding positions on this round table. And about 10 minutes into this conversation, Luce just happened to knock a full pint all over me and kill that conversation dead. So maybe I should have took the hint about the thoughts on my hobbies as we move forward. There's so many reasons why I love you, Luce. She's one of the most caring, thoughtful people you're ever likely to meet. But one of the biggest reasons I love her is because, as I'm sure a lot of you are all aware, she makes people laugh every day, and that includes me. Now, not many of you'll know this, but over the years I keep notes on my phone of all the stupid things that Lucie says as she says them. So as it comes out, I'll just make a quick note, and I thought, now would be an appropriate time to maybe share some of her pearls of wisdom with you. So one evening we sat at home watching a David Attenborough documentary, and there was a beautiful picture of the Earth from space, and she nudged me and said, "Ben, does the Earth spin around?" I said, "Oh yeah, it does, Luce." She went, "Oh, I thought that was just a rumour." And then we were watching Comic Relief one year, I remember, and Lenny Henry made an emotional plea from Africa about some poor children over there. And as it finished, sort of welling up a little bit, and Luce has watched this, and she goes, "Oh, Ben, I quite fancy a black baby." You definitely did say that. During a trip to the supermarket one year, we went to the butcher's counter and these specialty chicken sausages, and she looked at me, "Oh, I didn't know they did chicken pigs, Ben." There's a time she confused Nigel Mansell with Nelson Mandela. And one Sunday evening before a week at work, we were sat in the living room, and she says, "Ben, I'm going to be ever so busy this week. I've got loads of notes to make." And I said, "Why is that?" She said, "Well, nobody knows what's in my head." And we've continued to wonder that ever since. Now, over the last few months, I've found myself on numerous occasions sitting in a room on my own at work or at home, and thinking my cheeks are hurting a bit, and realising that I've just been grinning and smiling to myself. Lucie, the last 10 years have been amazing, and I have to pinch myself sometimes to believe how fantastic my life's been since we've been together. There's a saying that you don't marry someone you can live with. You marry someone that you can't live without, and I think that sums us up. Watching you walk down the aisle today made me realise just how lucky I am, and that I'm definitely getting the best part of the deal. I don't think you'll ever realise what an amazing person you are, and anyone who's has ever had you part of their life is a better person because of it. I hope I can make you happy and proud each and every day of our married lives together. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for bearing with me and listening. And before I hand back over to Tom, would you please join me for the most important toast of the day, to my beautiful bride and my beautiful wife, to Lucie. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. You may have to bear with me. I appear to have printed this on size 4 font, so... Good afternoon. On behalf of the bridesmaids, I'd just like to thank Paul and Ben for their kind words and echo those sentiments in thanking all those who've made today possible. It's been a wonderful day and things have run fairly smoothly until now. I was truly honoured when Ben asked me to be best man. That was until I found that Dave Waple had been pushed in the new role of second best man, whose main responsibility is make sure Richie doesn't do anything too stupid. That being said, if Ben envisaged one of us turning up today with a black eye, he certainly wanted putting me on Dave Waple. Well done, Dave. Dave did also just about pick me to the prize of most offensive comment on the stag do. When those who are easily offended have left tonight, I'm sure Lucie's Uncle Eddie will be happy to run through that comment with everybody. Now, being best man, comes with a few key responsibilities. Firstly, arranging the stag do. I'll come back to that. Getting the groom to the church on time, and as it's only 1.3 miles to Ben's house, I was fairly confident I wouldn't be able to mess that up. And then the speech, which I'd quite like to say is almost like sitting an exam at school. Firstly, I knew I had to do it, but I really didn't want to. Secondly, I knew there'd be at least one person who'd probably deliver better results than I would, and quite enjoy doing it. Thank you, Paul. And thirdly, despite having plenty of notice, I knew I'd only start preparing the night before. So moving on to Ben. People often ask me how Ben and I became best friends, which I wasn't really sure about until I started thinking about this speech. When I look back on all the things we've done together, we've had numerous ski holidays and watching different sporting events together, playing sport both with and against each other. And when I look back on some of my most memorable memories, Ben has always been there alongside me. This includes one of our most famous achievements when we both scored in the Staff FA Cup VAR. Sorry, not FA Cup. That's a complete lie, sorry. The Staff VAR's Cup final to win the trophy for Highs. A video of this is still available, I believe. So back to the stag do. 35 people made the trip to Dublin, which is remarkable considering some of the excuses Ben has made to miss other people's stag do's. I won't bore you with the centre box story. You may think this has got something to do with Ben's popularity, but the group did include a large number of family members and other like-minded cricket and football guys who probably would literally have any excuse to get away for the weekend. I did have one request from Lucie, and that was to make sure you're getting back in one piece. Now, during a discussion before we went with a few of the lads, it was decided if anything did awful happen to Ben, that we would hold a 2-minute silence and then get on with the rest of the weekend. I did have a slight panic on the first evening when Ben went missing. Gary Thomas called him, so I did. I called him to find out that he was strolling down the River Liffey, which is about a mile from our hotel. He was done, in his own words. What could go wrong? After I put the phone down, I went back into Temple Bar, lied to Gary that it was okay, and ordered another pint of Guinness. It wasn't until the next morning that I discovered he wasn't actually in his bed in the next room to Dave and I. Thankfully, before we sent out the SOS, we had a rather cute photo of him tucked in bed with one of the other lads. So that was good. This wasn't the only incident I kept from Lucy. She has a man along this table here to thank for probably saving his life on the stag do, as James Barber attempted to serve, in Gary's own words, an illegal drink. I assume following the social media blackout that the rest of the stag do will remain classified. In general, Ben is known for a couple of things in our friendship group. Firstly, being ginger. Every group needs one. Secondly, for having no eyelids. And if you inspect your photos later on, you may find that to be true. And thirdly, probably most importantly, being tight. He does often quite try and deny this. And I do have a lot of stories that probably back this up, but I will remind you today I had to pay my own bus fare to get to this wedding. As long as I've known Ben, he's been with Lucy. I'm not entirely sure how long that's been. Firstly, because as blokes, we rarely talk about things like that. Our conversations mainly involve beer and sport. And secondly, whenever you do ask Ben, he normally would answer with, "It's been a couple of years, I think." However, in that time, they've both been truly great friends to me, especially my single years when I would quite often gate crash any plan they had and regularly steal Ben away from Lucy. In truth, I do still try and do this, because when I finish work on a Friday, Ben is always the first person I call to see if he fancies a pint, and I truly believe this is why he's my best friend. I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say you are an amazing couple, and I wish you every happiness and success in the future. Sorry, it's been a short speech, but please may I ask to be upstanding for one final toast to the bride and groom, Mr and Mrs Ben Maddox.
Thanks, Richie. We're nearly done. Just reminded me that Dublin, it's the only stag do I've ever been on where the groom was looking after the best man. But you'll be pleased to hear, obviously, that the food is almost ready. It's on its way. But just before I hand over to Gary, the father of the groom, for the final word, I'd just like to thank all of you for coming along today, and for everyone that's made all of this possible. And just for me to say, have a great afternoon, have a great evening, and I'll hand you over to Gary Maddox.
I have got a piece of paper, but it's that big and it's got 4 lines on. So I'm going to say grace on our behalf, and then we can all get some food, okay? For good food and those who prepare it, for family and friends with whom we share it, and for the love which Lucy and Ben have for each other, we thank you, Lord. Amen. Amen. Enjoy your meal.